morning, everybody. We'd like to welcome you to the next session. Our section is going to be focused on sustainable agriculture and food security, as well as emerging sustainability trends and their impact on small businesses. I'd like to welcome to the stage our speakers. Apologies, we're competing with space, so if I'm raising my voice too loud, I want to make sure that you can hear us. So I'd like to welcome to the stage Dr. Tariq Nizami. Dr. Tariq is the co-chairman of UNDRR Arise UAE. Please give him a round of applause. I'd also like to welcome to the stage Dr. Mustafa Saasa, who is the chairman of the Raj Group of Companies. Round of applause, please. Thank you. You will hear me serve as a facilitator and a panelist at the same time. My name is Rachel Moran. I am the Managing Director and ESG Advisor of COP28 Management Consulting. So between the three of us, we will be discussing, just having an open conversation. We have a short amount of time, so we're not going to talk a lot. We're going to share a few of our thoughts and also interact with all of you as part of the audience. So maybe let me start. Thank you, Dr. Mustafa. Thank you, Dr. Tariq, for being here. Let's start with the first thing. We've heard a lot of discussion around sustainable agriculture and food security, not only in the context of the UAE, but many of our countries. If you just share your perspectives with us on what are some key elements in terms of opening a new chapter for way forward, key elements in terms of either technologies or innovations that need to be factored in countries, Tanzania and other countries, when it comes to ensuring that we strive to promote sustainable agriculture and promote food security. Who would like to start, please, just on your thoughts?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It is indeed a pleasure and honor to be part of this important panel where, in the COP28 we are discussing about the climate action and impact on the food security and agriculture. In the overall perspective of the globe, we are seeing that the food security is a great stress for every country. And it was inevitably experienced during the pandemic that because of the cross-border food transportation and everything was on a halt, that time every country realized the imperative of having a food security and maximum yield within their own country. Coming to Africa, Africa has a massive, huge amount of cultivable land which is not yet exploited or not yet explored. And within Africa, if we talk about Tanzania, you have 44 million hectares of land which is a cultivable land, of which only 10 million hectares is being cultivated. So, about only 25% of, less than 25% of the land is cultivated so far. So, there is an immense opportunity in that area of having this cultivation. Against that, Tanzania is blessed with good amount of water resource. Tanzania is source for three major rivers, which is a source from Tanzania, which is Nile, which is, another is Congo, and third is Kembezi. So apart from the major river of Rufiji, which is flowing in Tanzania. So water is there, people are there, we need to connect. So water and people need to be connected to have this, exploration of more cultivable land. Another resource, is a huge resource. The second largest lake in the world, is blessed to Tanzania, which is Tanganyika. So there is no shortfall of water in the country. There is enough amount of cultivable land which is yet to be explored. Only thing is to bring it together, motivate people to go for farming, have them the right seeds, right crop, and awareness and training. That is very important, because if there is no proper training given to the farmers, and in the modern era, as you mentioned about the innovation and technology input in agriculture, agriculture is immense. So with the least amount of water you can get a maximum yield. Now with the hydroponics you can have a vertical farming, but that's not required in Tanzania because of the availability of the land. So bringing people, water and land together with technology, inducing awareness, education to the farmers will definitely change the complete landscape of agro industry in Tanzania. This is my outlook on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mustafa. I think you very clearly said what is Tanzania has the opportunities, and I think definitely agriculture is one of the industries that growing industry, especially in Africa, because of so much land. I think having 54 countries and having so much land and having self-sufficient on the food, and especially food security, which has been a major issue for quite some time. And I think each country have to support their farmers, have to support their local businesses, especially the SMEs, the small medium enterprises. It is very important to bring the innovation in not only in agriculture, in every industry. And technology has been used, the drone has been used in agriculture a lot now. And I think the main thing is that for all of us, that each country government should support more into their local agriculture industry. And not only the local, I think they should learn and from the different countries. And I think there's a lot of innovation, a lot of technology is coming in the focus industry. They should learn, they should do partnerships, team efforts, and I think that is very important for us. And my role in UNDRR that we are always looking for partnerships, we are always looking for team efforts. And always is the most important thing is get your message across. Whatever you're doing it, whatever right you're doing it, if we all are citizens of this earth, we all have to contribute every shape and form into better environment, provide for not for current for the coming generation. So it is important, and definitely agriculture plays a key role in each country. So I think this COP28, I think there's a lot of initiative has been launched, a lot of different things will be coming up in the next week. And I think especially creating the fund of climate action, of having billions of dollars, I think that will help a lot of industries, including agriculture, in different ways, because the trees and all these things plays a very key role in the climate. So we have to plant trees as much as to make it more green earth that we live in.
Just to add on top of that, I think it's important to look at how to spur investment in agriculture in Tanzania, specifically on the private sector side. So moving from a case where in some regions you're focusing on subsistence farming or subsistence agriculture to evolve it in terms of commercial agriculture. So looking at the household level, how do you grow that? How do you grow household production so that you build cases where there's the surplus not only for the community, but more importantly that goes into markets, not only local markets, but ultimately regionally. Bearing in mind, obviously, Tanzania is part of several key regional economic communities, SADC, COMESA, EAC. These are markets for economic growth and production. These are also markets in which we have to make sure the number of women, because there are a number of women who are involved in agriculture, can also evolve into some of the industries, the different value chains. So it's important to look at where there's opportunities for getting invested in the different aspects of the agricultural value chain. It's also important to look at new areas. For instance, you have climate, people are getting involved in climate resilient seeds. So because of climate change, the way in which agriculture is done and agricultural business cannot continue the same way, not only in Tanzania, across East Africa, where I'm from, but also beyond that. So it's looking to see what aspects in terms of climate resilience, new technologies, your equipment, your seeds, your inputs can allow you to go in. Secondly, there are a number of private equity and venture funds that are invested in agriculture across Africa, but they're not aware of the business opportunities that exist in Tanzania. So it's important that those pipelines are created and support is given so that you have bankable projects, or if there are any constraints to making them bankable, either feasibility studies, startup capital, whatever the case might be, bringing in diversity of partners, that support is provided because there is an interest, but maybe the disconnect is how to meet the interest with the demand with the supply of capital. Thank you.
Well, I'd like to add something in this is that, if the agro industry is improved and, if you focus on the agriculture, first, the impact, it will give employment to thousands of people. Second, it will develop the supply chain and logistic industry over there. So, all the food grain which has been produced or the crop has been produced, it has to be, transported to the further locations. Third thing is that, it can have a lot of value addition industries in agro industry. Like, if you're producing, the best tomatoes, rather than, exporting the tomatoes, if you make a puree or you make a paste or you make a ketchup and then, you export it, so that will, the value addition in the crop will give you more benefits, and ancillaries in the agro industries will give further employment to many who still want to be in the supply chain and logistic industry of agro industry but does not want to involve in the farming. So it's like a upstream, midstream and downstream. The upstream is the agriculture, cultivation, what the farmer does. Many times we have seen that the farmers' children, they don't want to enter into farming. They have seen the hardship of the parents and everything. So and also because of their education and other things, so you can give them employment in the ancillaries what you develop in the value addition of this agro industry. So you can still have the captive people in your own region rather than the knowledge tank leaking out of your region to other countries. So focusing on the agro industry will develop a lot of other industries and other scopes wherein it will benefit in the overall landscape of Tanzania.
Now maybe we'll move to the second aspect of what we wanted to discuss and we'll open it up for Q&A. So sustainability. This is a word we've heard a lot, especially this week. But what does sustainability mean? And what are the type of sustainability trends that are impacting small businesses? You can please share your thoughts on the top 3 sustainability trends that are impacting small businesses and what's possibly driving that impact.
Small businesses are always have advantage and disadvantage both. Anything which is small has a scope to grow. So, and every business, every large corporation, what you see, was never started as a large corporations. They were started, many of them, most of them had started with a modest beginning. But they did right things on the right time, so they are what they are right now. So, there are 3 or 4 scopes of 4 changes in the business which the SMEs have to adopt. When the SMEs, to sustain the business, when the SMEs, when they start the business, maybe with the one person or the one person's idea, the business is started. So that person is doing everything in the business. So every activity in that business touches him or his involvement is there in every activity. That is called in the business. That person, after a level of his setup in the business, he has to evolve and come in the second stage, which is called on the business. That evolution has to come to grow and to sustain the business. Because if you don't grow, you die. So the growth is necessity and imperative. So, on the business is you appoint somebody in your position who takes care of the day-to-day activity and you free yourself to take strategic decisions, to attend conferences, to attend exhibitions, and to expand your business horizontally or vertically. Then the third evolution which has to come is, you create a BOD, Board of Directors, when you grow. And this Board of Directors, they take strategic decisions and appoint a CEO to execute that. So these are the evolutions in the business which has to come. the SMEs, we see that 70% of the world economy is with the SME. But yet, we see the SME suffering is lack of evolution. And if they don't evolve, and after some time, the pressure on the business of the family pressure is increasing. First, one person was there, then the family grew. Second and third person came in the business. Many a time the business cannot take load of so many people. So expansion and this evolution is imperative to sustain the business. Just for the knowledge of everyone, the oldest surviving company in the world today was started in 478 AD. 1600-year-old company still surviving. Second company started in 703 AD, still up and running. So there is a science behind this. So if they induce all this, the SMEs can definitely sustain, or rather, evolve and grow into a conglomerate which can give employment to thousands of people. So to sustain business, evolution is imperative.
First, want to say that SME word, there should be SSME, which is startup and small medium enterprise, because there are a lot of startups currently coming out with the great ideas, and they definitely can sustain themselves. They know, especially the young generation, they are startups, so there are a lot of opportunities. And if you look at it, the country we are sitting right now, UAE, this is a perfect example of SMEs. This is the backbone of this country. A lot of SMEs are here, a lot of startups are here that are making the world names in different industries. So definitely, I agree with Dr. Mustafa that you have to sustain yourself. You have to. What I strongly believe that we should work for not for today, for tomorrow. And then if you keep understanding the environment, keep changing your thinking, keep changing your system of sustaining yourself, looking at the not only the local environment, the global environment. And it is very important for all of us to sustain in which industry, agriculture or trading or any industry. So it is very important to keep up the local environment, keep up the technology, and I think definitely if you incorporate technology, there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of you can sustain your business and sustain a lot of things. And I always, one more thing that I want to mention on agriculture that we talked about before, that in Africa that I noticed there are a lot of trans-shipments of food items between the countries. If we can be, these African countries can be self-sufficient in the common requirements of that will ease up the transportation. And that transportation means the ease up the environment, the clean environment, the saving of a lot of things. So it is very important for all of us to pay attention on the local consumption and local production, so we can less depend on transshipment between the countries, cities, or anywhere possible.
Now, in terms of sustainability trends and all, I believe when it comes to small businesses, there are three key ones. One is understanding the impact in terms of climate change. We hear a lot of buzzwords around net zero and emissions. When it comes to small businesses, your preoccupation might be understanding what is your use in terms of energy, water resources, whether you're working on land, do you affect biodiversity? So understanding the very tailored nature of climate change with respect to your business. Secondly is supply chain management. What type of supply chain do you have? And are there issues with respect to along that supply chain? Around there can be labor, workforce issues, occupational health and safety. So understanding that supply chain when you're sourcing it, if there might be ethical issues around it. Thirdly is stakeholder engagement. You have both internal stakeholders and external. Understanding where's the relationship you have, how to manage those, and then how to deal with complaints around either consumer protection, the services that you provide, are they going to beneficiaries? So I say that because at a high level, sustainability is, while climate change is an important part of sustainability, that is not all that there is. That's those at a high level. So briefly, this session is come to an end because the other sessions, it was a late start, so it cut into some of the time. We don't have time actually for Q&A. It is another session, but what we can do, we're all here. We can ask, you can come to us, we continue the dialogue. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and thank you for listening. listening to us. Thank you.